Welcome to our podcast, Spiritual Vacancy, a place where we are here to fill your spiritual void. I'm Mona Lee. I'm an energy healer for mind, body, and spirit, serving in the Grand Strand area of South Carolina. And I am with my partner.
I am Brooke Ann. I'm a psychic medium and I'm a Reiki practitioner. And on today's episode, we are talking with Mandy. And I'm excited because I have never met Mandy and didn't even know about her until Mona talked about her. So,
Oh
welcome,
my
Mandy,
goodness.
Thank you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whoever's watching at whatever time. Hi.
wherever you're at. So, Mandy, you own kind of like a metaphysical store with stones and gems and all this other cool stuff that people can get.
Yeah,
So, can we kind of hear about like who you are and what is your store called to begin with?
sure. We are Dottie's Crystal Palace, and we're located in Carolina Forest in Myrtle Beach, obviously. We just opened in June. We're an appointment only shop, and we have been just very blessed and lucky and grateful for the opportunities that we've had here in Myrtle Beach, honestly. I'm not originally from Myrtle Beach, I'm from New York, from Brooklyn. And I can't imagine having stores like this up there. It'd be totally different than what we've experienced here and what we've had here, and the friends that we've made, and the community down here. To be quite honest with you, the community down here is phenomenal. It's just like being with people that you've known for your whole life. You know, like Mona. I met Mona one time, and we just connected. And I texted her last week, and I'm like, "You're on my mind." I didn't know her. You know what I mean? Like we'd never hung out before. It's just she was on my mind, and it's just such a wonderful vibe to have. And like I said, I'm just so grateful to be here.
No, well, we're glad you're here today too. And Mona has that kind of energy too, by the way. Like she's like a magnet. She just like attract people to you. Where it's like, I need more of that in my life. I need more of Mona's energy.
She's just
You're so
honestly like a
cute.
beacon of light for me. And I'm not just saying it because like, we're talking, but she's honestly, when I feel her presence. She
Yeah.
comes over here by by my, by the office, and I feel her. I feel her. Pounce. Go get her. Go get her.
Yo, we are not here talking about Mona today, but thank you. I
Okay,
appreciate
fine,
you.
fine, fine.
We are
Okay.
talking about your beautiful crystals. And I tell you what, when I work right next door to you, and I knew that there was some kind of vibe or something coming out from the windows of your store. Because when I work over at the Scalar Energy Wave place, I feel something like I park right in front of the store where I am. And then I feel something on my right side, and it's all the vibrations of those crystals, and it's all the vibrations of what's going on behind those windows. And the owner of the store would shared with me what you have, and he's like, Mona, you have got to go see what she's got because you have crystals all over the place in your office, and you'll love what they have. And I felt like when I got invited to your event, Mandy, I felt like it was such a beautiful, exclusive experience that it was such a special thing that I felt so honored to be invited to. And just walking in there, oh my goodness, it was just like so much vibration and energy and colors galore. And I don't know a lot about crystals. I just know that I love them and they feel good. And there's certain ones that are really amazing. And on today's episode, I would love you to share with us some of your favorite crystals and you would like to share, with
I'm glad you came to the event, and I'll hopefully when we have the next event, you'll come to that one too. We've been, just like I said, so lucky. I have a great team that works with me. I have just wonderful supporters and people that have just trusted me and trusted us to provide them with crystals. And whether you're a novice or whether you're experienced, we have something for everyone. And it's not supposed to be salesy, and it's not gimmicky. It's just literally you can go from $1 item to a $5,000 item. And it's just wherever you are in your crystal journey is what we've got. And it's just fascinating to me. When I walk in, I lose my breath sometimes. And I know it sounds kind of weird, but it just hits me in the face. And I'm like, wow, we built this. This is just so calming and smooth and relaxing and just again, like you said, the vibration, you just feel it. You just walk in and you just want to you just want to let it just sink into you. And I love it so much. I couldn't even tell you how happy I am to be here and be able to do this. Beyond words.
Yeah. What drove you to like get into this? Were you doing this in New York? and then you kind of brought it down here? You started it when you moved to the beach? Like, what was the driving factor in it?
It's actually crazy. It's a little bit of an odd story. My dad and I, when I was very young, used to go to collectible shows. My dad used to like baseball cards and different, coins and collectible stamps and stuff like that. And we used to go traveling together, he and I. And my mom, was a homemaker and she was home all the time. But we used to go like, on a little road trip for an hour or two to a mall or to a show or wherever. And I very clearly remember the very first time I've ever experienced a crystal. It was an amethyst cluster, a very, very tiny one, about that big. And it was a piece of pyrite, which is actually fool's gold, which is for money. So amethyst for calm and pyrite for wealth and abundance. And I remember I held it in my hand and he says to me, "Do you want it?" And I'm like, "Yes, yes." And amethyst was my birthstone, and I'm a February baby. And I looked at it and I was just like, "Oh my God, this is the best thing ever." I had no clue what it was. I thought I was rich. I was probably 5 years old. And I remember holding it and having it for years, many, 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 many years. And then the pandemic hit. And I was working an at-home job. Thankfully, I was very watched over at the time. And my mom is ill. And we were, trying to stay afloat. We were trying to keep things going so that, God forbid she didn't get sick, I didn't get sick, and we were just trying to stay alive. And we moved down here 6 months before the pandemic. I had never touched a crystal again since I was 5 years old. And obviously during the pandemic, it was very hard for a lot of people emotionally, dealing with depression, anxiety, stress, and all of those things. And I realized that my anxiety had amplified a lot. My depression had amplified more than it should have been. Watching sad news and watching people that pass away, and it was very, very hard on me. And I needed an outlet. And I mean, it might sound kind of funny, but I used to watch TikTok, and TikTok had, people dancing and singing and lightheartedness and comedy skits at the time. And there was no selling or anything like that. It was just a very simple, simple time. And I would watch it when I was free, and I would sit with my mom and I would send her videos, and I'd watch people's relationships grow, and I would become so enamored by this soap opera of things that obviously I had no idea what they were, but it was just so calming to me. And then I started to learn about crystals. People were talking about crystals online, and I'm like, "Oh my God, crystals! I love crystals. Let's learn about crystals." I had nothing else going on. I mean, there was literally nothing else to think about, worry about, talk about. And I just dove into a world that I knew I had loved in the past, but didn't know that I'd still loved. And I've been enamored. And I don't even think I can think of a stronger word than that ever since. And that's my story.
Yeah.
It really shows too, Mandy, because when walking into your store, walking into your space, and you have crystals literally from all over the world. So I can see how you definitely did get enamored by getting some from this country and this country and this section and that section of the world. And you've just got such a whole entire world collection in there. So can you talk about the different places that you had found, like the different countries that some of the crystals come from?
Yeah, they come from all over the world. I originally started buying crystals from the United States, obviously, and from China, because they were the more basic stones, I'll say, like, rose quartz and amethyst and fluorite, things that you would find normally, in every metaphysical shop, basically, or sometimes not even in metaphysical shops, sometimes just in like gift stores, or that you see in abundance online. And I was learning about them at the time. I didn't know quality, and I didn't know, I didn't know much. I was literally at zero at that point. I had known that I liked amethyst, again, because it was my birthstone, and I knew that I liked pyrite because it meant loads of money, but neither here nor there. So I started buying just from random places that I had found online, via TikTok, via Facebook, via websites that I had found retail, and I was paying way overpriced for items that I didn't know what they were. And as time progressed, I realized that there are certain provinces in China, there are certain areas in in India. There's certain areas in Australia or even in America that house certain items. And those are the ones that are the main ones, the ones that I need to focus on, the ones that I need to pay more attention to get the best quality, the best bang for my buck, quite honestly, just the best everything. It just, I learned blindly. I completely learned blindly. And almost everything that I have here has been sourced from everywhere all over the world, from South America, from Canada, Australia, India, China. I have stuff in here from Siberia, from Czech Republic, Moldavite, just so many things, tektites that I've learned about that just get me so worked up and I get so excited talking about, just meteorites that fall from the sky become crystals. It like blows my mind, it's just phenomenal to me. And I've become a crystal hoarder. That's the best way you can say.
So going back to Mona's question, what would be like the one that you love, that you're drawn to in your store right now? If someone were to come in and they were a novice or had no clue as to what to do, what direction would you put them in?
Well, I always say rose quartz, clear quartz, selenite, tourmaline. Those are all your basic protection stones. Those are your basic general amethyst. Those are your basic stones, your chakra stones, obviously. But in front of me here is what I have, some of my personal favorites. The first one being Larimar, which is this beautiful, gorgeous blue. I don't know if you can see it. It's pretty kind of far away, but it has a water pattern on it. It's only found in the Dominican Republic. They don't mine this anymore. You don't see it very often. There's not like a lot of carvings. There's very few larger pieces, and the larger pieces are like 50, 60, $70,000. The mine went underwater because the water line receded, and they stopped mining it. And I just find that Larimar, being one of my personal favorites, is just calming and soothing. And think about being on the beach in Dominican Republic or Jamaica or Florida or anywhere where the water is so clear and you just like decompress and you just feel all of like that just beautiful sun vibe and the water vibe and the sand between your toes, and you're just like, wow, life is great, and that's what Larimar does. It's just a calming stone. And then I have garden quartz here. Garden quartz is, to me, like a fairyland. It's got like little dips and valleys and like just these little flower buds inside, and they're so beautiful. And this is a grounding stone. So you've got Larimar for calming. You've got garden quartz for grounding. Helps keep you centered with the earth. Helps keep your chakras aligned. Just helps keep you who you are as a person. It doesn't, you don't get out of your head. You don't become too big for your britches, basically. And it's just so wonderful. You can literally learn a tale about 50 million year old crystals just looking at a piece of garden quartz, and it's phenomenal to me. And then I have Hypersthene here, which is beautiful black, but it's got like a little bit of a silver tinge to it. It's kind of hard to see. I can just put a little light on it real quick for you. Got like a little bit of a silver tinge to it. This actually was very interesting. This was a random find that I had learned about a year ago. Someone had offered me some Hypersthene, and I said, I don't know anything about it. I've never heard about it before. And I read up on it, and Hypersthene is actually good for people that are overthinkers. You ever been in the shower and you start having conversations with yourself and you say, oh, if I had only done this, if I had only said this, and this happened, and what if I had done this, and would I still be with this person, or would this have changed my life? And sometimes you need to calm that voice down, because you obviously can't change the past. Like we just had a conversation, the past is the past, and now we have to move on and make things better for yourself and different. So this helps calm down the noise in your head, which I find, especially for people that suffer from anxiety, depression, those noises can get quite overwhelming. So I actually use this as one of my favorite tools to help with my anxiety and my grounding and my calming. In addition to other items like my bracelets and other crystals that I wear. But Hypersthene is actually really cool because it has been banned from casinos. There's metal property in it that if you take this too close to a slot machine, they kick you out because it messes with the mechanics of the slot machine. So if they catch you in a casino with Hypersthene, they literally will remove you. And it's considered a lucky stone. It is a lucky stone. It's not only just the metal inside, but it's just I mean, I know so many people that not only that I've sold to, but that I know as friends who have used Hyperscene and just medicate with it and can tell me stories about promotions, love entering their life, just all of these positive things. And to be honest with you, when I started with Hyperscene is when I almost started my shop. I was just literally getting into my shop. So I don't know, maybe it could be coincidence, but it could not be.
Oh, that's awesome. I've never even heard of those before, so that's great. Have you, Mona?
I have never heard of hypersine before, and it looks kind of like a like a black tourmaline, doesn't
It
it?
does. Yep, it does.
Yeah,
It's
but
exactly what it looks like, only it has a silver shine to it, like a very heavy silver matte coating to it.
nice, nice. I'll
Beautiful.
take 10 of those. I'll be right over, okay?
Yeah, I'll take
I'm
the
waiting for
body
you.
suit
I'm
in the
here for
blue.
you.
That's
That's wonderful. So
amazing.
are you planning more events coming up for the new
Yeah.
year, you said?
Yes, yes, I'm so excited. We're gonna do like a new you kind of event. Eventually, I would like to open the space for more private events, not just for public events, because we were talking about doing like yoga in here because it's so calming. I would
Okay.
actually,
Is that right?
yeah, different just sound baths. I'm obviously talking to Mona and other people about having different events here. I would love to have all different kinds of metaphysical events, aura reading. I mean, anything. Literally, I have this great community, like I said, of people that I never in a million years thought I would ever know or experience. And I'm so completely grateful. And I just can't wait to experience all of this together with all of these new people, these new friends.
Yeah,
Brooke
that's awesome.
Ann, some psychic events.
Yes, I would love that. I would
Would love it
love
too. So
that.
your
Yes.
space is actually big enough to host a yoga class?
Yes.
Wow, that's crazy. That's
Um,
awesome.
We've got 1,500 square feet. We have the back room,
Wow.
which we do our live shows, and we have our supplies and stuff. But our front room is we actually move stuff around a lot here. Like we move around for holidays and different events. When we started, it was kind of a little bit empty in here, and now it's over full. So we're trying to move some items before we start to have more people come in. But even since Mona was here last time, the whole layout has completely changed.
Oh, I can't wait to see it. I can't wait
I
to see it.
can't wait.
Now, if people want to come and see you and get a bunch of items for Christmas for people, how can they get in touch with you? Can you share
Sure.
the information? Because I'm sure people are going, oh, I would like to buy a crystal for so and so for Christmas, and you are such a great guide. When I was in there and you were like, oh, look at this one and check out this, and your prices are incredible too. They're so I was amazed at how wonderful your prices were.
Thank you. I
Yeah.
try really hard. I'd like everybody to have crystals, whether you use them for metaphysical or whether you use them for decoration, or whether you just like to look at them. It doesn't even matter what you choose to use them for. I don't judge for whatever you want to do with them is completely up to you. If you're giving them to somebody as a gift who knows nothing about crystals, I find them so fascinating because they come from the earth. And people are talented and carve things and make shapes and like the stones are just so beautiful, and you look inside them and you see all of this whole magical world of things that you never even imagined were part of the earth. This crystal here could have been running with dinosaurs. You don't know. It blows my mind. It makes I know I'm nerding out right now, but it makes me so excited just to think about where we are in the world versus, you know, 20 million years ago and what these crystals have technically seen, you know? So we do live shows Monday through Friday on TikTok. We do it on an app called Palm Street. We do some Facebook shows. We run some other platforms, also small ones. We do some private shopping online also for people that can't come to Myrtle Beach. And that's Monday through Friday, usually like 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Those are usually our hours. Sometimes we'll do night shows for people that can't make morning shows. And then here, obviously at the shop, there's always somebody here at the shop Monday through Friday. We're here 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. And then there's always nights and weekends. We're always available. We keep our schedule pretty clean. My girls have families. Obviously, I have family. But they're always willing to come, and I'm very grateful for them. They actually designed all of this space, and hopefully, when you guys get out here, you'll be able to see it for yourself and just be as floored as I am with this. I had no hand in the design. I bought every single piece in here, but I had no hand in the design. My manager Tori, Kat, Mallory, we've just been so lucky with this whole situation, and it's just I can't even describe. They're very talented. They're very well versed in crystals. We're all certified crystal healers, and it's just and they have good design skills, which I needed.
That's awesome. So like if people like don't live here, they can order them on a website or they
Yeah,
just, yeah, awesome. What's your
yeah.
website? Where can they find you at?
Sure. We're Dottie's Crystal Palace everywhere. Dotties with an F.
Okay.
Crystal Palace, and it's .com. We're on TikTok, same name. We're on Instagram, same name. Facebook, same name. Palm Street, same name. You can email us info@dottiescrystalpalace.com. Literally, there's a million ways to contact us. There's a website on our website. There's a form you can fill out if you want to come and do a private shopping event. Some people actually book out the room for their own private events, which I had one a couple weeks ago. A woman loved crystals and she booked out her birthday here. And she had about 30 people, and there were 30 people in here buying crystals and having wine and, just talking and just having a good time, playing music nice and loud. It was a Friday night. And we had a little 3-hour party, and they were very pleased. And I was so pleased. Just having people come in and being able to look at my stuff is just, it makes me feel so great.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. And people, it seems like there's a million ways they can find you. And I did not know about you until Mona told me. So I will definitely follow you on your socials and promote you. And I have to come with Mona and come meet you in person one day
I would
and see
love
your
Absolutely.
that.
shop.
I would
Yeah.
Oh,
love
it's
I would
it is.
love
It's amazing. It's just like it's so worth the trip to go into the shop and make that connection. And it's just like I really, I mean, every time I've walked in there, I'm like, oh my goodness, just blown away. So however it's put together and designed and all the colors together and everything in certain categories, it's amazing. It really is. Your team could go worldwide and set up crystal places and
well, here we
Daddy's
Yeah. I love that
Maybe
you,
one day I'll franchise. Who knows?
Yes.
yeah. I
But
love
I,
that you host events too. That's amazing.
yeah, I mean, that was actually the plan originally. I wanted that from the beginning. I wanted people to be able to experience crystals, especially if you didn't have experience with crystal. Just like Mona said, when you walk in to feel the vibration, and if you don't have crystal knowledge, you still feel the vibration. You can still feel all of the wonderful uh, charm and like magnetism of just all of these beautiful things that come from all over the world, and they've been touched by so many people. And, like I said, from the people that mine it to the carvers, to the shippers, to the sellers, to the resellers, to everybody, so many people have had a hand in this. And it's just so phenomenal, the process that it takes to get this done, to be able to build something like this, or to have any metaphysical store, quite honestly. It just blows my mind. It's fascinating to me. And like I said, I can't stop saying how lucky I am. I really do feel lucky.
No, we're
I
glad
love it. I love it. And
you.
you can feel it, just that your passion for what you're doing, and you are living your dharma, girl. You are doing it and you are living your passion. And thank God for COVID. I always say that for so many people, so many of us, and that created such a beautiful shift on our planet. And it shifted you exactly where you needed to be, because your passion, your drive, your motivation, your love for what you're doing, it shows. Because when anybody walks in there, and I see you working with anybody from very beginners to the advanced crystal, people that know a lot about crystals, you know how to navigate them through your space. And it's such a blessing that you are there. And with the energies that you bring in the whole entire Myrtle Beach area, you can feel it going, whoa. So,
Well, I'm
yeah.
so happy to hear that. I mean, it means a lot to me. It really does. It truly does. And coming from you guys, it means even more, because you have the experience with all of this stuff, and you've seen many metaphysical stores. You've seen many different types of crystals, obviously, in your life, and this is just means a lot. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. And it was nice meeting you. And thank you for being on today and
Thank you.
letting us learn about you. And we are looking forward to come meet you in
Thank you.
person one day soon. And we just want to thank our listeners. Go check her out, follow her page, go to the shop and book a private party with her. Maybe that's what you guys need in the new year. Everybody listening and get recharged by her crystals and learn as well and have a good time. So we thank y'all for listening in, and we hope y'all have a beautiful day, and we will see you next week. And namaste.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Thank you,
Thank
Mandy.
you.